Every Friday at 11 a.m. you can connect just like, you can set your clock to it. We will be here either through, like we're doing this morning, through a live video, but every week it will be at least a live phone call. And not because I want you to see my mug every week, but I want to put this out there for you to let you know that September 30th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, this is live and happening right now. And wow, we've got some celebration. Every Tuesday, I do, if you notice up on the board here, every Tuesday we do a live webinar. And every Friday, again at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, a live conference call. We use the GoToWebinar platform so that if you undock, I'm looking at my computer here in front of me, if you will undock the question box, as we have the agents on this morning, and sometimes if I have time during the webinar on Tuesdays, just type in a question, a comment, and so many of you guys are so kind with your comments. Thank you for that. But I would be remiss if I don't tell you, and I'll say our plans up front. I do this, it would be invaluable, or it would be just a shame not to say that this isn't just the Tim show. It really is the Tim and Alicia show. And I think probably more so the Alicia and Tim show. Alicia, of course, is my right-hand gal in this business, and incredible helpmeet that God's blessed me with to be able to bring this program to you. And our plan up front, we wear it on our sleeve. Our plan is to be able to say, we're in this for your prosperity. We get blessed as well. You know, we've got to do it. We've got to pay the bills here too. Number one, if we aren't taking care of you in the field, supporting your business, being able to say our plans are for your prosperity. I'll go to, it's threefold. Number two would be for your future. And number three, when you have that plan for the prosperity and a future, it just wells up in you. Our threefold plan includes a hope. I hope that resonates with you as well. This morning's celebration's kind of all across the nation, from Hawaii to Kansas to Missouri to Virginia Beach. So we're not spanning the globe yet, so I'm not going to pull the ABC Sports motto on you, but we are sure spanning across the country and even across the great divide of the Pacific Ocean until you get out to Hawaii. Extremely excited to be able to share male, female, and brand new in the business, some that have some experience in the business. It doesn't matter. If you have a willingness to participate in that threefold plan, guys, we will pour into you. We will give you not only the access to top carriers with the absolute, as large as we are, and sometimes that's good and bad because sometimes you get lost in the mix when you're working with such a large FMO as Gordon Marketing. But I'm going to come back and say, because of that, we have phenomenal amount of products, a phenomenal amount of carriers. We like to say we can set you up with over 90 carriers with over 1,000 products, but you'll be smart to use one or two or three. Get really focused there, and we'll be able to offer literally the absolute highest contract. And it's not always about the contract. It doesn't hurt either. Sometimes the absolute highest contract of anybody out there with the opportunity. I mean, typically we're starting at a 35, 45, 55, or depending in the federal program, or you're starting at a 75, 85, 90% in the mortgage protection with the opportunity to grow all the way up to a 120% contract. I will, everyone who's on the call today, because I don't think I've sent that out probably here recently, I'll send you out our comp grid for the opportunity for you to build your business. And that is your whole team. As a team, if you're producing, we're going to be increasing your contract. One of the key things I love to do every Friday is to be able to celebrate with you. And I may add a couple agents who we may have missed on the leaderboard as people have texted me today. If you can, tell me what you have produced as of Friday morning. as early as you can, preferably Thursday night, so when I get to, all this information to Alicia's hands, she can have a real accurate accounting for the leaderboard. But let's hear from Alicia. You're going to hear from life sales, and that's going to include whether it's an IUL sale, a single premium whole life. We really focused in more on the simplified issue and or the fully underwritten. And then you'll hear from her also first about the celebration of our just general annuities that we've got coming out of Gordon Marketing, just the opportunity that you have to also build your business on that end. And as I will unmute Miss Alicia, would you please share our leaderboard this week?
Yes, sir. How is everyone? Yes, like Tim said, it is pouring down rain outside, so happy Friday to that. There's a lot to cover today, so here we go with your leaderboard for the 5th week of September. These top 10 producers have all submitted annuities to over $190,000. So here we go. Number 10, we have Eric Coons, 2 annuities, $193,000. Number 9, Rodney Jones, 1 annuity, $210,200. Number 8, Roy Bodness, 1 annuity, $225,000. Number 7, Bruce Pitts, 1 annuity, $250,600. Number 6, Doug Dries, 3 annuities, $257,000. Number 5, Mark Huber, 1 annuity, $260,000. Number 4, Jade Coons, 2 annuities, $290,000. Number 3, Matt Chansey, 2 annuities, $320,000. Number 2, Andrea Nichols, 1 annuity, $400,000. Number 1, David Cotton, 3 annuities, $450,500. And now we'll move on to the top 20 life producers for the 5th week of September. All of these agents have written a minimum of $1,800 in business this week. In the top 20, or in the top 20 spot, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Number 20, Matt Dortsky, 2 applications, $1,800. Number 19, Kenneth Bell, 2 applications, $1,924. Number 18, Randy Patrice Sr., 1 application, $1,988. Number 17, Gary Yeager, 1 application, $2,400. Number 16, Danielle Byrne, 3 applications, $2,473. And number 15, we have Todd Goodwin, 1 application, $2,648. Number 14, Nicholas Abelardo, 3 applications, $2,832. Number 13, Gregory Greenwald, 3 applications, $2,864. Number 12, Paul Rowe, 1 application, $2,999. Number 11, Daniel Allette, 2 applications, $3,000. And now for your top 10. At number 10 is Paul St. Laurent, 5 applications, $3,199. Leandro Fernandez comes in at number 9 with 3 applications, $3,813 in premium. Number 8, Tim Lankford, 1 application, $3,900. Number 7, Jay Teague, 5 applications, $4,149. Number 6 is Eric Coons, 6 applications, $4,196. And now for your top 5 life producers for this week. Number 5, Dennis Carnahan, 4 applications, $4,278. Number 4, Andrew Kokonowski, 3 applications, $6,080. Number 3, Gladys Terrell, 2 applications, $7,776. Number 2, Thomas Faveda, 10 applications, $14,586. And your number 1 top life producer for the 5th week of September is Mark Huber, 5 applications, $33,825. Wow, way to go, Mark. Amazing job to you and to the rest of the top 20. Everyone did a wonderful job. If you guys need anything, you can call me, 800-388-8342, extension 178, or email me at Elisha, ELISHA, at gordonmarketing.com. Have a great day.
Thank you, Miss Alicia. She's there for you guys if whether it be for calculators, applications, getting contracted with literally any carrier on the planet. And I'm going to help you and emphasize, keep your blinders on. The way that I've been able to stay more successful, and when I say successful, we'll put that number out there for you. This year so far, I've got about 120,000 that I've written. I do this business 1 to 2 days a week, so that's what I implore you to be focused in on. I do that within 2 to 3 carriers, and I've been doing this for over 20 years, focused in on this business with the mortgage protection, final expense, now the Fed business for over 8 years. So if you're newer to this field, 1 carrier is enough. Make sure that you are focused in on a good term carrier, whether that's Phoenix, Fidel, or right now we'll be in 2 weeks talking about Fidelity Life, but not yet. So Phoenix, make sure you've got a good accidental carrier like Mutual of Omaha, and then back that up with a good guaranteed product, guaranteed issue like a Gerber or a Great Western, Columbian Life. That would be all that you need on getting your business started and running strong. Guys, let's also celebrate, and I will get more names to Alicia next week. We're going to go ahead and start celebrating with folks who have either already qualified for San Diego or just close enough to say these are the folks. Of course, we're going to take the top 20 agents who minimally have put in 25 applications, 30,000 issue paid dollars. I know, we've been talking about this since January 1, and you heard the numbers that Mark put in this week. I believe it was 30,000. It's so ridiculous. So if you haven't started yet with us, guess what? We can take you to San Diego, get in 25 applications before December 31st, $30,000, and that will probably get you in the top 20, at least real close. If you want to totally secure your position, I say if you're closer to 50,000 issue paid, that will get you to San Diego. But 25 applications, $30,000 will get you and a guest. We will fly you in anywhere you are in the country. If you're in Germany, we're not flying you in from there. So anywhere in the country that you live, we will pay for you and a guest to fly into San Diego in what we think is a kind of a tough time for us. San Diego, it's going to be wonderful, January 9th through the 11th. 25 applications, $30,000 of issue paid premium, and celebrate with us Miss Lily Cortez, who's on our call today. We're going to be celebrating with she and a guest in San Diego. Mr. Doug Boyd, Mr. Jay Teague, just to name a few. And there's about a half a dozen others that are this close before I start naming names, but you'll hear from them next week, and we'll start saying, okay, with this many apps, with this amount of premium, and by the way, it's newer to us. So you won't hear the Mark Hubers, you won't hear the Vern Barkdells, those folks who, have blown that out of the water. When we talk about 25 apps and 30, these are folks who have never been on a trip with us. These are folks a little newer to Gordon Marketing. So 25 apps, 30,000 issue paid by December 31st, you're going to San Diego. And what's even, maybe what I would consider even more cool than that, is that you now are on target to do 60,000 by the end of the year. 60,000 issue paid dollars by December 31st. So folks like the Vern Barkdells and the Mark Hubers and the I'm going to do it disservice, will be now on the way, and Lily and Doug and Jay, with just the 60,000 getting to, as you see on your screen, if you're up on your computer not listening to me just by phone, you see that little scroll of our hotel that we are putting everybody in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. You don't want to miss that. So with celebrating with all those things, and let me give you a little bit of kudos out. Get your numbers into me sooner than this, but I want to also make mention to, I don't think, we've got John Gullickson in there. John Gullickson, congrats, $3,900 in premium. Tom Gullickson, John's older brother. Older brothers should be more successful, right? Except Tom's newer to the business. So Tom at 4,290. Tom, Illinois. John way down in the Carolinas. How about Montana, guys? In Montana, Jennifer Green with $3,125 of annualized premium. Folks, we know what we're doing. We can coach you to be able to be an elite athlete. If I was an elite athlete. But that is on my mind when I hear the word elite. Now, if I transfer that over into the insurance world, we will teach you how to be, we can coach you, we can enable you to be an elite producer. Be an elite producer, you know, by connecting on things like on Tuesday, I'm going to just have 4 agents who are going to say, okay, these are some of the struggles in the home. These are some of the objections, and let's conquer them together. And I feel pretty good about overcoming objections in the home. About 3 out of every 4, a little bit better than that, I close. So I want you there. If you're not closing 75% of the families that you're sitting with, stop it. There's no reason. If they filled out a request for mortgage protection, if they filled out a interest in their benefit plans, 75%. There's no reason at all why you cannot. Now, if they come back and you find through your discovery, wow, you've got this, this, and this, really you've got the mortgage taken care of, would you be at peace? Is that why I'm sitting with you? We'll talk about that more on Tuesday and what I feel like is some of the best objection overcomers Tuesday at 11 a.m. I've got to, and I'm hoping if we're not able to unmute our callers on the computer for you to hear, I'm going to go ahead and just call them via the phone. But let's try the computer first. All the way out. Guys, at 11 a.m. for anybody in the Eastern time zone, this gal is 6 hours earlier. So she's been patient. We've been on this call for about 20 minutes. And Lily, if you haven't fallen asleep already, God bless you. Lily is in Maui. For those of you waking up like we are outside looking at the rain, oh my goodness, one of the most beautiful. My wife and I love Maui. We've only been there once, and she threatens me. Why aren't we there? Seriously, Tim, I wouldn't say threaten, but she chides me. Why aren't we there again yet? So next year we're going to be in San Diego, we're going to be in Alaska, we're going to be in Punta Cana, we're going to be in Jamaica, we're going to be in Disney. Guys, you know, I got to work sometime. But that's the blessing of this business. Being an elite performer, and you're going to be going places. And you know what? It's going to be on somebody else's dime. Miss Lily, let me see if do I have you on the phone with us via the computer?
Yes, I am. I'm with the computer right now.
You are awake. I am thoroughly impressed. You emphasized not to put you on camera, so I wasn't going to do that. So
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me clearly?
You are coming through extremely clearly. Thank you for connecting.
Okay, good.
How about that? We're gonna give it now. This is Lily from Hawaii. Lily, who said, "How do I better myself?" Paid for a ticket, met me in Meridian, Mississippi here just a few weeks ago of saying, okay, if I'm interested in the federal program, what do I do next? That's not cheap, guys. You see and hear the commitment. No wonder why she's going to San Diego and she's on her way to Punta Cana. Lily, what do you do to well, tell maybe just a little bit about yourself and what I wish, and we will. I'm going to, as soon as we lock down Punta Cana, I'm going to feature you. I've got to have people listening to you more. And what are you doing to connect with people? And you're not just staying in Maui, are you, when you're writing business?
Yes. Sometimes when I go to Las Vegas. Okay.
And not only Las Vegas, because you've got your license in a couple different states.
Yes, I do.
So you've got what, California?
Yes, I do have California. I do have in Texas, just in case, because I have relatives there too. And if I do happen to go and visit them, then I have my hands on. I have tools with me.
Surprise, surprise. So you're prepared. And the what would you share with everybody that one of the key things that you want to do whenever you first meet somebody and talk to them about life insurance or about how you can protect their mortgage? What are some of the things that you do? Could you share with folks how you connect with people?
Okay. Well, aloha everyone. My name is Lily Cortez from the island of Maui, Hawaii. I think whenever what contribute to my success is, first thing, what I do is whenever I go to my appointment, as I'm warming up my car, I ask God's blessings and protection for me to come home safely, because I have to uh, travel maybe about 30 to 35 minutes one way. So I have to ask God's blessing for me, and that he has to bless to the people that I am going to contact with, and to guide me through, and also to touch their hearts, that they will be able to see the importance of what I am going to share with them. That's my very first, on my way.
Awesome.
Yes, and then when when I'm with my clients, well, some of them, they are my warm market, because it's a small island, so they're kind of, casual. And then I make them feel comfortable. I ask them probably how's their family going on, kind of warming up a little bit, because they are so uptight maybe. and and then when kind of feel comfortable already, then I kind of go into my presentation. Usually, I do have a brochure, especially I love Phoenix, because of the living benefits. And also, they're so easy. And I have my brochures with me, and as I am talking to them, explaining to them the importance of protection, especially, when people are busy, the last thing that they do is, last thing that they think about is protection, not unless they do have someone to talk to them. So I really like the one-on-one presentation, because then they have all the attention to you, right? So then, as I go through my brochures, then they kind of see. And sometimes I kind of, when they know that someone is in their family, I ask them if someone in their family suffers heart attack or cancer, and and most of them, they do know. And some of them, it do happen that some didn't die, that they are able to, that they didn't die, but then they didn't have this kind of protection yet before. So they kind of know the importance right there. Okay. And also, I kind of tease them, oh, when something happens to you like that, would you rather have a get well soon card or a check?
Oh, I
I
like.
kind of I kind of impart to them, so that they kind of they see the picture, because it's kind of, especially when they're talking to you face to face, it's just passing through the words, right? So I
Perfect.
just do it casually. And then after that, and then I kind of tell them about the two types of insurance, which is a term and a permanent. So they kind of know that they distinguish. They kind of, so after I segregate that, then they kind of know that. And then they kind of know the importance of our living benefits, which is everyone have insurances, but then this is the new kind of insurance that we do have. They have a protection, but they have to die to get it, So again, that is already imparted in them. So it's kind of lighting up. And then after that, then okay, how I will go to the amount that I will give them. Then I see them that, oh, this is your house, right? Yeah, they would say yes. And then I would kind of ask, oh, how much for the balance? Because I know in Hawaii the balance is, you know, you cannot buy $300 a home in here in Hawaii. So I kind of know the balances. And then I see that there are kids running around. So I told them that, you know, now to send kids to college is already 100,000, you know, if they do go to college. So then all that is already, so I get my simple needs analysis. I get a simple pad or you know, plain, and then I told them, okay, the mortgage is this, the children this one, and then the most important one that we're going to protect you is your income. Okay, how much you are worth, you know, then because if something happens to you and you cannot work, that's it. The family is already, you know, devastated. So then everything is all, then I kind of have the figures. Say, for example, they have 800 needs analysis. And then I tell, and then because of the mortgage could be 500, and then they have 2 children, 100, that's 700 already. But what about their income? Should it lack? Then I just kind of give, you know, maybe 100,000. So that's already 800,000 right there. So they can see the figure. I'm still going through the figures yet. And then about their income, husband and wife, you know, like that. And then the mortgage like this, like that. Then there would be an excess of, from the mortgage and expenses and everything, there would be a, probably they can have a leeway of 100,000, of maybe 1,000 or maybe $500 excess, extra, something like that. And I would ask them, okay, how much is your insurance premium? And then they would say like this. So then I kind of position that. So I'm showing all the figures. Then I said, okay, I'd like to protect your mortgage, which is this. I'd like to protect, you know, okay. So then if I would have to come up 500,000, you know, then I would figure out a term which I would give probably a 400,000 term, which is cheaper on their budget, and maybe 100,000 permanent, you know. So then they kind of see, oh, how come you giving me big amount of protection, you know? So that one will eliminate the questions. So then they said, okay, if the budget is okay, then they said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So then, you know, that is already closed deal. So then say, shall I start the application? You know, I ask permission. Shall I start? Because I already had laid out all the figures, and you know the money is there. We can just, sometimes we just transferring the existing insurance premium or existing 401k protection, you know. So they see that they can do it. So it's a matter of them, we are repositioning into a better deal. So then they said, okay, let's do it. And then the best thing for me, then I asked them, would you rather have someone to come here and get your medical, your blood test, or, you know, your urine or EKG or whatnot, or would you rather have non-medical with all this? Then they said, okay, I would have non-medical because I'm taking this, I'm taking that, you know. So everything is simple. Everything is closing.
How about that? That is
Yeah,
awesome. I think
everything.
everyone can see why I want you on featured on a call. I'm going to jump over to go out east. Thank you so much for your time, Lily. I am excited to see you in San Diego here in just a few months in the end of January. How about that?
Okay, sure. Okay, did I share what I, that is my did I share something that is, you know, simple?
Oh my goodness, you are right on, because I want people to hear that how you're connecting with people, and you're not afraid of going and saying, hey guys, this is what we're doing. Let's get it protected. And that's exactly what everyone is hearing. and knowing no wonder why that you're as successful as you are. So Lily, you have a wonderful morning. And the rest of your morning, I look forward to seeing and talking to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for hearing me.
All right. Thank you, Lily. All right, guys, we are going to go a little bit out several hours then, a little bit more than a little bit. We're going to keep going east, and it's tough to go west from Hawaii, isn't it? So we're going to keep going east now, coming over into Kansas. And if I've got Doug, I've got you unmuted, and I want folks to hear somebody who's not been in the insurance business very long at all, and yet, like Lily, you didn't even talk about this with Lily, but you not only have become a tremendous producer in a very short time, but also adding already to your team. Would you mind saying good morning to everybody?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Good to be here.
Excellent. Share from you. Jump right in. Go with how that you've been doing this for what, about 45 years. So you're an old hat, and it's real easy for you.
No, I pretty much started the mortgage protection just about a year ago. I started going into homes last fall.
How about that? And you've done a phenomenal job, not only with your own personal production, like you heard at the top of the show, guys, top of this call. Doug is already qualified. He's got enough apps and premium in to be able to go to San Diego. And with production that you heard from him doing this week, getting issue paid, I think he's pretty much already locked in a couple tickets for you and a guest for the Dominican Republic. How exciting is that?
Very much so. I was qualified for a trip a year ago, and I wasn't able to go, or not really a year ago, last January, and so I'm looking forward to actually going on these and seeing everybody and relaxing a little bit.
How about that? Very, very good. Would you please share, when you get a lead, because you've done a tremendous job with converting leads into sales. Just share what's your secret? What are you doing that somebody else on this call cannot duplicate?
Well, I'll try to help you. Tim, first of all, I struggle to kind of sound like any kind of an expert. I mean, me and my team, we're absolutely just a work in progress, and that's probably the biggest thing right there is just how hard we all work. The biggest things that I can tell you as far as just highlights, if it helps somebody, from our standpoint, we find that the sooner that we're able to make contact with that lead, plain and simply, the better we're going to do on numbers as far as getting an appointment and getting in the house. So number one is just really acting on it quickly, and we feel there's quite a bit of competition out here, and so if we sit back and we don't get around the leads, then somebody else is going to get to that person and make that sale. So first and foremost, just acting very quickly.
I like that. So it's a lot of times in this business, kind of the first in wins, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And our team is also participating, in the federal program, and we really have to keep it straight as to there are really two different types of sales. And in a year, and I don't know how many appointments I've been in, I've had 2 or 3 people, ever call me back or track me down because, they had my contact information, and those were like finding a gold nugget, when they call and ask me to write them something. But you're talking about, I don't know, several hundred appointments, and you're not going to have many people. You're going to get told they're going to call you back a lot, but if you don't get that sale that day, it's pretty much gone.
We all been there, haven't we? When you think, well, let me think about it, and we're going to talk about that some more on Tuesday. Or this is perfect. We're just not going to do anything today. I've got to pray about it. So there's a lot of things out there that we're going to be addressing on Tuesday that that you've learned, haven't you? If this is pretty.
Yeah. The biggest things, if you care to hear, as far as just dealing with a few objections ourselves, I just find that there's kind of a pattern. In my 1 year of experience, there's kind of only so many objections, and then for me, I feel like there's 2, 3, 4 major ones that kind of reoccur all the time, and I've just found for myself and somewhat for my team that I try to head those objections off before they're an objection, if that makes sense.
How do you do that?
You want me to elaborate on that a little?
I do, absolutely.
One of the objections I used to run into a lot was when you get to the part about giving your checking information. And that was very recurring. Everybody's okay with everything until you say, hey, I need your account and your routing number. Well, I find that when I can address that early on in the meeting, I love something I read one of your presentations about 3 things are going to happen today, and that kind of turned a lot of things around for me when in my transition from getting to knowing somebody to going into the presentation. I try to say three things. One of 3 things are going to happen today. I'm going to find something to protect your family at a budget, a price that works for you. In another case is going to be I'm going to find that, and you're going to want to think about it. And I say, we're going to go ahead and fill the application out anyway while you're thinking, because the company's got to think about you. And I just line it up and I say, now understand, when we do this questionnaire, I really don't say application, I say questionnaire, and I say, when we do this questionnaire, you're not going to pay me anything today. You're not going to pay the insurance anything when they get the questionnaire. But no company out there is going to do any kind of processing if they don't know how they're going to get their first payment. And so in order to do that, we're going to give them your routing number and your account number. So before we've ever got to that point down the road, I've already made a statement of fact, and I've said, you're giving me your account information and it has to go in. And so later on, if that starts to come up, they look at me like, hey, we've already talked about that. And so that's really what I do. I talk about, I know there's competition. They always want to think about things, or they want to price something with somebody else. At some point, I try to make it clear that I know and I understand that they have a lot of choices. That they probably got 10 or 12 of these cards in the mail, and they could have set 3 or 4 appointments. And I try to assure them that I'm an independent, and I'm not locked into any one company. And it's my job to shop the marketplace and know which are the best companies, who has the best pricing, and who has the best benefits, with their policy. And so I try to line that up and put myself as kind of the expert there. And I say, I know it's a short time that you and I have known each other, but I would really like to have you as one of my clients. So the question really comes down to, do you feel that I'm trustworthy enough, will be reliable enough, would be the kind of agent that you would like to have to represent you in this market?
I like it.
I try to make it like I would be honored to have them as part of my clientele, and I put it back on them. We could look and shop and talk to people, but really, can you look at me today and say, hey, I trust you to go with you? And I try to put that back on the spot, and that's more towards my close. And if they kind of shake their head yes, I shut up at that point, and if they say, I think you'd be fine, well, it's time to get the papers out and start writing.
Listen to this, guys. This is a gentleman who, what was it, Doug, about 1 year and 4 months ago at the AEP function that we do every year. You know what? Was it even AEP, or was it the Life Expo? I think it may have been the Life Expo. It was, wasn't it? in the spring of 2015 when I met Josh Zettler and his team. Doug was there. Ginger may have been, but I don't think she was at that time. Was she, Doug?
No. No.
Then met Tim Barnfield. Met who else was there? Was Mark Huber there at that time?
I don't think he was at that meeting. No.
But 4 or 5 of us took everybody out for a steak dinner, and Doug came up to me afterwards and said, "I'm new to this, Tim. You know, is this something that you think I can really do?" And guys, about a year later now, since Doug took this up and said, "Okay, I can do it. What do I do? Point me in the right direction." And that's all I've done with Doug. And here he is going to San Diego with us in January, and every bit on his way to Punta Cana here in, what is it? I believe that one is in April, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, May 12th through the 16th. Folks, tremendous success story. Doug, thank you for sharing. And I'm going to go just a little bit further east. You know what? I'm going to jump real far east because I was having some trouble getting on with our Virginia Beach agent. Then I'm going to come back and talk about somebody on your team, Miss Ginger. But I'm going to see if I can go a little further east. Doug, thank you for your time, my friend.
You bet. My pleasure. Thanks for all the help.
So if I go, let's see, I can't unmute Paul Michael, and you hear his name every week on our call. Paul Michael is tremendously successful out in Virginia Beach. And let's see if can I get Paul Michael up on the phone. And I know the time is going by so quickly here. I'm going to Ginger. If Paul doesn't pick up right away, I'm going to jump and go back west. But let's see if I can raise Paul here real quick. Paul Michael is on one of our area vice presidents team, Josh Sivak. Josh is featured a couple times already this year on this call. Josh, for the year, is already over $200,000 in issue paid dollars, guys. And Paul Michael, and we're going to miss Paul.
Paul Michael.
Bummer. Okay. He's going to be featured on our call in the very near future. Now let's go back west. So it was lined out: Hawaii, Kansas, Missouri, Virginia Beach. Let's go over to Virginia, or let's go over to Missouri. And Ginger, you can also speak of. Oh my goodness, you've been doing this business what, for another 15 or 20 years yourself? Ginger, I have got you unmuted. If you are able to unmute yourself, if not, we just spoke a few minutes ago, so I know I can connect with Ginger. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I lost you for a minute, but I'm here.
Hi, Ginger. I want everyone to hear. Just my goodness, this was just real easy because you've done this for so many years. Well, how can you what can you tell people about why you've been so tremendously successful with talking to folks, not only with a mortgage protection lead, but now also both you and Doug and Dell with some federal employee leads?
Well, it's not easy, but it's not hard. So that's kind of what it is. And I guess Doug has to spend a lot of time with me. So because I've never done this before. But I've worked with people a lot my whole life. I've worked with people, so that's easy for me. I think the biggest thing for me is, and Doug taught me because of a bad way that I asked people why they fill the card out, that now I just say, how can I help you? And that seems to just break the ice. They don't think of me as a salesman anymore, and they know that I'm there to help them, and they just start telling me. So then I listen to what they say, and then I find out why did they fill the card out, and then once they tell me why they filled the card out, then I have information to go on, and I just repeat it back to them. And that's really it. That's why I'm here, to help you with that. And so then we just find something in their budget. And so I work with their budget. You know, we don't get them anything that they can't afford, because why get it if you can't afford to pay for it? So let's get something that protects you and that you can afford. Later, if you make more money, we'll raise it. And that's really it. Just help them with what they ask for.
Fantastic. So I love the idea of, yeah, not trying to put them so much on the defensive. Why did you fill it out? But you already know, and just to make that fact of, okay, I'm here to just get information in your hands. Is that a fair way to put it?
Right.
Very, very cool. Could you talk us through, now that you've already proven not only a mortgage protection program, but becoming kind of a leader on the federal program of getting some business every week? What are you doing after you get that initial highs and rapport out? How does what are you doing to oh, I guess Fred made a good point here, how Doug likes to tee up the sale, that you're kind of tackling some of the objections up front, but what kind of give over the body of your sales presentation, what you're doing in the home to continue to make the mortgage protection or the federal employee feel comfortable with you?
Well, I'm learning that, actually. I'm really good at giving the presentation, and I have people that, you know, right away when I sit down with them, they like it and they want it. So I'm actually having to learn, you know, how to keep the business on the books and go back and as Matt calls it, hold their hand, and, you know, make sure that they, you know, they're comfortable. It's like I'm constantly holding their hand, the ones that I'm keeping. That's the only way that I can describe it, is just going back and tying it down.
You're making yourself available, and you're
right.
As I describe it there, if I'm sitting with whether it's for my mortgage protection, you know, I talk about being a part of the family of my mortgage protection clients. I'm not afraid to call them a client, but I'll come back to the federal employee, and they're a part of my family of federal employees. So key in to keep that comfort going, but also, are you going back and finding any ancillary sales?
Well, I'm learning. I'm new at this, so I'm just now finding annuities. I'm finding all this stuff I don't know about. I'm like, what questions do I ask? I don't even know the questions to ask. Here I am, and so I'm learning, and so it's all new to me. And I found almost $1 million the other day, and I didn't even know what to do with it. So, wow, yeah. So it's just all new to me. So I'm going to figure out what to do to it, though, with it. So I'm learning.
Fantastic. Now, and hopefully from each one of all three agents that you're hearing this morning, as you're hearing in Ginger's voice, the spirit of being willing to be used. You know, that we aren't here just to go and make money. Hopefully you did not infer that these guys are out there saying, I've got to make my next commission check. That's why these people are on this call, because of Ginger and her spirit. I want you to hear the times that I've been on the phone with Ginger and meeting Ginger. It's that spirit. It's that willingness to say, how do I get used? How do I, yes, you've got to have that consultant hat on, much more so with the federal employee benefit program, more so than on the mortgage protection, but it's still that being willing to bleed on your client. Now follow me with this. Ginger is willing to bleed on her clients without asking them to bleed for their insurance. Sounds goofy. But instead of doing the FU route, remember, I've got a church background, guys, so my FU is fully underwritten. I don't see a lot of cases coming through my desk with Ginger's name on it of saying, okay, the nurse is coming out here, the nurse is coming here, or the nurse coming here. She knows how to get business paid. And that's when she started the call with, that it may not necessarily be easy. She qualified it with, not that hard. It's not hard for her. With some folks, it may be hard, but I'll guarantee you for everyone anyone who is successful, it's simple. It's simple. Is that the fairest way to, is that a fair way to put it, Ginger?
Yes, I think so.
That it's still simple. Well, you've been very kind, and thank you for our relationship still being so new, and knowing that that your name is one of those names that has a real good shot. I expect to see you and a guest in San Diego also. So excited about spending some time on the beach and the very next trip that we're on. Count your next adult beverage. I'm going to buy it, even though it's free. I'll put it on my tab as free.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Ginger. Have a great morning.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Guys, how much of an honor it is to be able to serve you. I want to be served by you. And just a couple notes real quick here. We haven't probably said it enough. For those of you who are doing the federal program and mortgage protection, there's no reason why you can't do both. It's going to be a little bit simpler as you start to get more focused in one program or the other. But if you're that consultant and you want to take your skills to the next level, that's going to happen with the Federal Employee Benefit Program. Two things must happen. You must register at www.febc.us. Frank Echo Bravo Charlie. febc.us. Then go on to up in the upper right corner where you see more. Click on Consultants and sign up. That'll get you initiated with getting information from us on the federal program. Number two, that must happen before you can start receiving leads. And with that program, it's a reduced contract with free leads. Those leads will be given to you. What you hear Doug, and didn't mention on Doug, he just had his first week out in the federal market and did what, a $4,800 annualized premium. Proud of you, Doug. Ginger, I think she's already got over in just a few weeks. I want to say no more than 8 weeks in the field on the federal program. Last time I counted, I think we've got you over $20,000 of submitted business in the federal program for Ginger. Guys, it's working. It's working. So number two, you must attend an academy. The next academy that's coming up is October 31st through November 2nd, 3 days. You can fly in, you can drive in. Monday at 1 o'clock we start. We're done by Wednesday at 12 noon. 5 meals, 2 nights of hotels. Go to www.gordonmarketing.com. Click on the agent site. The first thing that pops up says, check here, click here for the Federal Academy training. The only other point of business that I wanted to make mention to those who are in the federal program, before I give you my directives, no Series 6 or 63 is needed. Isn't that phenomenal? We were talking for the last couple of academies, hey guys, get ready for your series. Get ready for your series, because the DOL ruling, the Department of Labor ruling about annuities and being able to write annuities, that they want to see you as with a series license. You don't have to. We will still honor the DOL ruling. It's being able to go through a couple of our annuity companies who will be declared as a financial institution. So they sign off on our annuities, and we honor the the DOL ruling. I love that part about this business. We're constantly growing and pouring into our agents, making your life as simple, I love that word, as possible. 3 directives, and this has been a long call. You've been so patient. I don't know if anyone's left the call, but 3 directives, guys. I want you on this call if you're an agent who's making it happen. If you're an agent who's making it happen, you are following 3 directives. The first directive is blow up your income. And that's all positive. Blow up your income by, you hear what Mark Huber's doing, what Doug Boyd just did, what Ginger's doing, some of the names that were named off on the call this morning that we have if you're an agent on leads with us with a federal program. $4,000, John Gullickson. You heard Tom at $42,000. Patricia Tenney at $8,000 this week. Jim Meixner at $8,500 this week. Folks, be an agent who's making it happen by blow up your income, directive number 1. Directive number 2, blow up your income, and number 2 is taken care of if you take care of number 1. You go out and you bless your family with the best neighborhood that you can live in, with the nicest house that you can live in. You bless your family with being able to put your children in the school system that you want them in. That's directive number 2, but it's taken care of if you do number 1. And guess what? Number 3 is taken care of. It takes care of both number 1 and number 2 if you will be an agent who's making it happen by going out and talking to that family who's sent in a mortgage protection request, by talking to that employee who's asking you just to come and explain their benefits. If you become an agent who's making it happen for that family in the field, for that employee in the field, number 1 and number 2 directives are always going to follow. My challenge to you, go and be an agent who's making it happen.